Oh man, you don't want to see what's going on down there. Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Oh, jeez. I got 10 fragrances today that are just gonna have you smelling absolutely drop dead amazing. And as usual, I've tried to work in some that are on the cheaper side of things, some a little bit more on the expensive side of things. And since here in North America, we are heading into fall, most of these have a little bit more of that sweet, warm kind of aspect to them. You know, better for the cooler weather. A mess back there. I've got all of them linked in the description. Feel free to check them out down there. And as always, here are some codes. Use these codes if you want to use them. Let's get things kicked off with this guy right here. So this is Anfar London Royal Imperial. The presentation here, the bottle basically looks like they were inspired by the Carolina Herrera Confidential line of fragrances. I think that's a nice way to put it, right? It was inspired by them. Yay! It's got a magnetic cap, but it's not a very strong magnetic cap. As you can see, it won't even lift the bottle. It's a disappointment because you want the magnetic cap and then they give it to you. Oh, but it's useless. Dang it. You know how I am, guys. I'm a sucker for magnetic caps. The fragrance, though, is fantastic. Doesn't cost that much. Under 40 bucks. I got mine from Fragrance Buy. It is strong, guys. This is a powerful fragrance. It projects like a monster. It lasts forever. So it's one of those scents that's absolutely gonna get people's attention because they can't avoid it. For better or for worse. I think for better. And this one is gonna remind you very much of this fragrance, Nashane's Hasabat, only, as I said, way cheaper. So it's gonna get you a very similar scent profile to this one. It has the same type of freshness, almost more of a zingy freshness off the top with this one as compared to Hasabat though. For the price, this is an absolute steal, bang for your buck. Kind of a hidden gem fragrance to an extent. Royal Imperial, really good stuff and great versatility there. Let's go with another cheap one and another clone type fragrance. Then we'll get into the ones that are not that type of fragrance. This is Cocktail Intense from Fragrance World. It smells like Angel Share from By Kilian. And I gotta say that this one has grown on me exponentially the longer that I've had it. So when I first got this in, I did think it smelled amazing, especially in the air. It's got that boozy sweetness that you associate with Angel Share, that same compliment factor, only way more affordable. But I will tell you something, with this one, more so than probably like the last 70 clone fragrances that I have smelled, legitimately. This one has aged beautifully, and it hasn't taken that long to age, like a couple weeks. And you'll hear that a lot with people talking about clone fragrances. They'll say, oh, you know, it wasn't as good, but then I let it sit for just a little bit, came back to it, and it was so much better. It was more developed, more complex, smelled better, less harshness, etc., etc. That has happened, of course, from time to time, but never in a way that was just like, whoa, what happened? Until this. It was really good initially, really good, but I let it sit for just a little bit, went back to it, and holy crap, it is so much better. Cocktail Intense, if you want something like Angel Share, but you don't want to spend Angel Share money, this has to be on the list. And just like Angel Share, compliments. All right. Now it's time for a fragrance that I've had since this spring, so I've been waiting for fall to bust this one out. It is Golden Mocha from Xerjoff. Look at that, looking nice. You can get this one from Joma Shop for like $145, which is a sick price for this one. I love it. I love it. Shouldn't be a surprise to you because it says coffee break right there on the front. It's named Golden Mocha, but there is a coffee vibe to this one, but it has this really nice citrus off the top. So you have this bit of freshness when you first spray it on with the coffee working underneath, and then kind of an incensey waft, little puff of smokiness that comes through. So this one is one of those fragrances that kind of has a meeting of both fresher ingredients and then deeper, richer ingredients kind of slapped together, and it works really well. It is more, for me, gonna be like a fall time fragrance, I guess you could say early spring as well. It's got that quality you would expect from a Xerjoff fragrance, another one with big performance, great projection, very good longevity. It's got a compliment factor as well. It's got that versatility you would expect from the house. Most of their fragrances pretty wearable. Some people may say that they wish that it leaned a little more into the coffee because you don't really get much of that roast coffee bean kind of vibe from this one, at least I don't. It's a little bit more fresh mixed with silky sweet, and that coffee kind of just lingering through the fragrance without having a burnt edge. All right, next up, the Mall Elixir. It rules. I love this fragrance. This is my #1 fragrance for fall this year. It's my favorite fragrance in this line at this point. I just think it smells fantastic. Like, any chance I can get to wear this stuff or to spray this stuff, I'm gonna do it, like right now. Awesome, it's just fantastic. It's that good, man. It has the lavender and mint there to tie it together with the rest of the line. It has this great honeyed sweetness to it, along with vanilla, tonka, and tobacco. So you do have a lot of sweet here, but it's done in a way where it doesn't come across cloying or, you know, bubble gummy or just overdone. It does have a touch of powder to it, but not too much of that either. I do like this more than Le Male de Parfum, although that's still an absolutely outstanding fragrance. This stuff just is something special. I know it's like everybody comes out with an Elixir fragrance nowadays, and then the Elixir fragrances get talked about, but this stuff is just so good to me. Let's go up next with Leighton Exclusive from Parfums de Marly. Now, of course, the original Leighton, a huge release. A lot of people have put Leighton as like the king of men's niche fragrances. You know, basically dethroned Aventus, kicked it to the side, and put Leighton up there. And Leighton Exclusive is very similar to Leighton, only this one has a little animalic touch. It's a little bit darker, more complex, a little bit richer, but then it still has that very sexy spiciness that Leighton is known for. It's a perfect night out fragrance for fall and winter. Like I said before, massive compliment puller, and with this one, Leighton Exclusive, performance is just killer. There is everything to love here and not much to dislike at all. Now, I do need to bring this up because I got a comment about it here recently. Somebody said that they purchased this from FragranceNet, that they paid close to $500 for it. I am sorry, dude. If you're watching this video, I told you I was sorry in the comment. I'm telling you again, I'm sorry that you paid that much. Yeah, you can get this at Fragrance Buy for like $175 or something like that. Just keep that in mind. You know, anybody out there who's maybe thinking about picking this one up, just check Fragrance Buy, check Joma Shop, check some of those other sites. $500, a lot of money to pay, and then realize, wait a second, I could have got the same thing for over $300 less, is what you're telling me? I feel for you. All right, let's keep it moving, keep it grooving. With this one, JVXNJ, that's John Varvatos X Nick Jonas Crimson, or depending on where you look, red. Because I guess for some places, Crimson is difficult to put as the name, so they're like, well, I don't know, bottle red, friggin' name it red on the website, I don't know. Now, this is where I'm gonna throw a little credit back to FragranceNet. Yes, some of their niche fragrances, especially, prices have been getting wonky. They've been getting higher and higher. But this fragrance right here, you can get from FragranceNet, as of when I'm filming this, for like $22. That is stupid cheap. Under $25 for this one is an absolute steal. Now, whereas JVXNJ Blue and Silver are kind of in that paint by numbers, versatile blue fragrance style, this one does things a little bit different, and it's more interesting. It's kind of like a fragrance that's descended from Polo Red. So with this, you have coffee, rum, apple, saffron, and suede as some of the notes in the fragrance. It has this very nice, appealing sweetness to it. That little touch of booziness mixing with the coffee off the top smells great. It's also been compared to by Kilian's Bad Boys Are No Good, but Good Boys Are No Fun, which I have to tell you, the name of that fragrance, I feel a little part of me die inside every time I say that. It's hard to keep a straight face and say that. What are you wearing? Oh, you know, I'm wearing Bad Boys Are No Good, but Good Boys Are No Fun. Right. But this does have a little similarity to that one, and it's way, way, way cheaper. I actually think that this one is kind of an underrated gem to an extent, especially at the price point that you can get it for. Performance is so-so, so for this one, spray a little heavier. After that, Draco Intense. Oh yeah, Draco Noir over here, watching the proceedings very happily, I would assume. as if my Dracar bottle's alive. So Draco Intense, very affordable as well. You can get that one from discounters for next to nothing. Does have a little throwback feel to it, kind of in the line of the original Dracar and Dracar Noir. That sort of, you know, barber shoppy 80s masculine vibe. You've got some of that in here, that fougere freakiness. This one though does have some additional almost ambery warmth to it. You know, it's got a touch of what smells like cinnamon as well off my skin as it dries down. And all of that adds a great sex appeal to the scent. So you're getting like an updated version of some of the best stuff ever made at a bargain bin basement price for Draco Intense. Also, you can spray that one a little heavy if you want, just like this one. Let's follow that up with another Jean Paul Gaultier, Scandal. Scandal has big performance. This stuff is great at getting noticed. Very sweet. It's very sweet, especially off the top, but for most people that's not gonna matter, that extra sweetness, because that's gonna help you get noticed. And if you're wearing something like this, I'm guessing that's what you're trying to do. Got a bunch of caramel in here, tonka as well. Little vetiver underneath all that, so you have this faint woodiness kind of behind the caramel, behind the tonka, and then a bit of mandarin off the top. And speaking of mandarin, if you would like a clone of this that's very affordable, you can get this right here. This is Armoff's Odyssey Mandarin Sky. Very odd that this would be a clone of this, considering that when you look at this, it has a Miami Dolphin color scheme and looks like it would be something just super summery, fresh, light, bright, and kind of sweet. You know, it's got these kind of colors that remind you of like sherbet ice cream. But no, this is a clone of Scandal, and it's actually a great clone of Scandal. So if you want something like this, but you don't want to spend as much money, you can check that out. All right, let's keep it going with Grand Master from Mind Games. Now, Mind Games fragrances are pricey. They're $3.75 at retail, so not for the faint of heart. Blockade, I think, smells great. That's my favorite one from all of the Mind Games fragrances that I've smelled. It has an awesome green mango opening. It's kind of in a family style, sort of, kind of a little bit of a Ventus, but it does its own thing. Whereas Grand Master here is going to be sort of kind of in the realm of something like Intense Cafe from Montal, but I think that the quality here is noticeably higher. It's not as powdery, it's not as feminine, it leans more masculine on the whole, because Intense Cafe is unisex, leaning feminine for most people. This one is unisex, leaning masculine. It smells really appealing. So you've got rose in there, rose water, so it's kind of a fresher rose. It's not jammy, really. It's not overly powdery. You've got some tart black currant in there as well. The coffee, very rich. Again, not a burnt coffee. It's got kind of a darker sweetness underneath it because you have these resins underneath the coffee. So you have like a faint little balsamic tinge to it. Oof, it smells awesome. Love, love, love this one. I would say for me, probably Grand Master and Blockade are the two best Mind Games for me. But again, pricey. Last but not least, Ferragamo Spicy Leather. God, I wish that was easier to find at a discount. Main reason I say that is just so more people could get their hands on this, because I think this is one of the better fragrances that Ferragamo has done in a long, long time, but it's really only available at full retail online for $112. And to be fair, I do think it's worth $112. It's just, I know when we're talking like fragrance community, that a lot of people are gonna see a Ferragamo at $112 and be like, ah. It's such a smooth leather fragrance for a designer scent, and it has that very appealing sweet saffron spiciness off the top. Little citrus in there, some nutmeg, some black pepper, like a faint earthiness in there underneath the leather and kind of melding together with the sweeter spice off the top. It is killer. Good staying power, good projection, great looking presentation. It's just the total package, and it is impossible to find at discounters. I bought mine when it came into stock initially at Fragrance Buy, and I don't even know if they've gotten it back in stock since. But I want to highlight it because even at $112, this is worth it. It will remind you a little bit of something like Chopard Oud Malaki, but not as aggressive, a little more wearable than that one. Not that that's unwearable, but still. So there we go, these 10 right here, fall and winter. Ooh, dangerous, yeah. I know this one over here that smells a little bit more like Hasabat. Hasabat is a fresher fragrance than pretty much all these other fragrances here, but this is so strong that I don't know that I would rock that in summertime or anything. So I think for me it'd be more spring and fall, which is why that's in here. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.